Hey guys, welcome back to another Titus Diorama action figure review. In today's video we're doing a very special video and we're going to go over the history of my dioramas. So let's get to it. Alright, so before we take a look at the actual dioramas that I have built over the last 4 to 5 years, I just want to give a brief intro to how I got started. Basically about 5 years ago, I was watching one of Glenn Webb's videos, which was the Customizing Live Build a Building. Unfortunately, this was like the 3rd or 4th video before he actually passed away, so I never had the chance to actually reach out to him and thank him for getting me started down this path. But if you guys have not watched that video, I highly suggest you go check it out. Anyway guys, let's take a look at the first diorama I ever tried. Alright guys, so the first diorama attempt I ever did was the bell tower. I never actually completed this one, and I might revisit it at some point in the future, but it was a good starting point for me. I then moved on to creating the fire escape diorama, and this is a unique one because it's only made out of wood and paint, and I learned a lot basically around the painting aspect doing this particular diorama. Moving on from that one, I went into the corner alleyway diorama, and this was the first time I was working with the insulation foam, and as you can see, I wasn't really confident enough in my techniques yet to be able to cut out a proper window and make a door and whatnot, but I still think that it came out really well, and it's one of my favorite dioramas to this point. From there, I actually moved on to doing the long room diorama, and this was really challenging myself to make a larger scale diorama. Originally I wanted to make it kind of like a warehouse scene, but midway through I decided to change it into an actual room and moved on from there. Now I moved on to making a rooftop diorama, and this is half of a rooftop, so it's really thin. It's able to be put up against a wall and doesn't take up a lot of room. And this currently has my pop gargoyle figures sitting on top of it, and it looks and displays really well. From there I moved on to creating the gamer room diorama. And this is the first time I actually did both the inside and the outside of the diorama, as you can see here. Now the only things I haven't completed on this particular diorama is the door and the windows. I'm looking to do that in the near future, and I can't wait to have that completed. Now from there I decided that I wanted to push myself even farther and make a diorama for a friend of mine, and this is of course the dual room diorama, as you can see here. I did 2 different sizes inside. I did use some new techniques, actually laying some wood down for the wood panels. I made a working window so they can come out, the fire escape on the side with the ladder, and of course the entire outside is all done, and the top, the roof area is done as well. So a lot of different posing spots that you could do with this diorama, and my friend really enjoys this. From there I moved on to the throne diorama. I wanted to change it up a little bit and do something a little bit smaller than what I've been working on and kind of get away from that small brickwork. So I made this throne, as you can see here. Again, it's out of that insulation foam, and I did make 3 back pieces to clip onto this with the understanding in the future that I might put logos on those. From there I decided I wanted to test my skills a little bit more, and I did a dual Black Panther / street type diorama. None of this one is magnetized, and you can flip it around so you have a nice street one. Now my next one, I wanted to do something for my filming, and I made this kind of street / wall or fence diorama, and you can see in some of my newer videos I have that in the background. Now I wanted to do a Batman animated series styled diorama. Unfortunately, I was using the thinner poster foam board, and it got destroyed. It just fell over and got damaged, so I did not go ahead with that. Moving on from there, I kind of wanted to make a little display for one of my cubbies just to be able to show off my Spider-Man action figures, and this was all made out of that foam board as well. Now, moving on from there, again, I went back to kind of that brick style building, and I actually wanted to make a temple. And I think this particular temple came out really cool. It's currently in my DTOF with all of my Age of Apocalypse figures, and it just looks really cool. Again, installation foam and just paint. At one point in time, I really wanted to make for my cubby a danger room, and this is what I came up with. And again, this is kind of at the beginning of 2020, so stuff was a little hard to come by for material wise, so I just made it out of that poster foam as well. I wanted to try my hand at something a little bit different than what I was used to, and I actually made this next diorama, which is a wall diorama, which my Spider-Man figures can actually hang off of. And kind of on that same theme of that big temple that I was working on, I wanted to make a very small temple using some different materials. Again, those are the kind of the block material you can get at like Michael's, which they don't carry anymore. Moving on from there, sticking to that kind of smaller diorama or display, I made this really cool Deadpool diorama. Again, trying some new techniques, and I think it looks cool. From that point, I decided that I wanted to make a living diorama, which of course is the forest diorama, and basically I just went out and bought some plants. I got some river rock and put that into a pot, so it kind of looks like a river with a stream. It is much overgrown at this point in time. Moving on from there, I decided that I wanted to make a sewer layer turtle diorama. And this is what I came up with. At this point when I made this, there was a few different YouTubers that were making kind of the sewer theme from the Turtles 80s, 90s cartoon. This is also another diorama that I started and midway through decided not to continue, but that was the Jurassic Park gate. It was just way too large and it was going to be hard to pack away. Finally, I decided once I completed my entire 90s X-Men cartoon wave that I want to make some sort of a display for them. The next diorama or display that I created was one for another friend of mine, and it was a smaller sewer diorama, as you can see here, and it looks really cool. Now, I decided earlier this year that I wanted to make some sort of porthole diorama, and I started out with what you see here. It's not finished, and there's some things I need to add on to. One of the current projects that I'm working on is a staircase that I want to make, inspired from a scene from the X-Men animated series. And as you can see here, this is the stairs that I've created. I still need to make the walls and stuff. I put kind of the stand-in foam there just to get an idea of what it would look like. I'm also making a castle top diorama for the newest Gargoyles figure that's coming out by NECA. And this is what I have so far. Alright guys, so I know this is a bit of a longer video, but I hope that you liked it. If you did, click on that like button. If you're not already subscribed to this channel, make sure you click that subscription button and also the bell notification so you can be updated with any new content that I come out with. I plan on making a prop video similar to this one, so stay tuned. And as always guys, stay nerdy.